been a very tough season for Fulham, obviously losing their place in the Premier League. What will be a rebuild in the Championship, as we've spoken about before? It's such a tough league, the Championship, to get out of first time. How do you see Fulham faring for next season?
Well, good sign. Tom Kearney signed a new contract. When your captain does that, it's a big statement because other players will think, hold on a minute, he's committing his future to the club. We don't need to go anywhere elsewhere. Obviously, a lot of the players have got a taste of Premier League football. Unfortunately, it's not been good enough this season for Fulham throughout. So those players might feel that, they owe the club one more season to try and get them back in the Premier League. Like I say, it's a great club. It's a fantastic club. They spent a lot of money in the summer. Things didn't go right. Obviously, they sacked 2 managers. But, obviously, if Scotty's in charge next season, he'll know the players. Hopefully, the problem is when you do get relegated, you can, hit a bump in the road and start off slow. But I'm sure with all Scotty's experience, he'll get the players together, galvanised, and hopefully hit the ground running next year. Because that squad at the minute, if everyone stays, or obviously if the players want to go, then I say let the players who want to go. And then just build the team around your likes of Tom Kearney's and Ryan Sessegnon's and try and hit the ground running. They've got the experience in the Championship. They know what it takes to get out of it. And I'm sure they're hurting at the minute from getting relegated in the way they have.
They hit really good form toward the end of the season after it confirmed that the relegation that they were going down. Why do you think that is?
I just think the players weren't good enough at the beginning. I think they didn't believe in themselves. I think it was far too easy to beat, conceding too many goals. There's the difference between the Championship and the Premiership is you get punished so much. You make one mistake in the Premier League and you're punished for it. The Championship, you can afford to give up a few chances. Not saying that there's not that much quality in the Championship. It's just that the level's so much higher in the Premier League. I just feel that Fulham. When you sack 2 managers in the season and you're changing players around all the time and you haven't got that core stability down the spine and the side, I think it can affect everyone. And I think the reason why they're getting results now, I think Scotty's gone in there. The players have bought into what he's doing. If as a player, if you don't buy it, if players don't buy into what you're doing, then you don't stand any chance. And obviously he's well respected. He's been there, he's done it with them as a player as well, so they respect him. And if they, like I say, they seem to be buying what he's doing, and so hopefully they'll think, we've got a great chance of getting promoted next year under Scotty, and they want to be a part of, like I say, Fulham's club history again. If you get promoted, you'll always be in the history books.
Any good signings or anyone you would recommend that Fulham should look at initially to make them an impact to help get them out of that Championship?
If we do make any signings, I'd like it to be players that have experience in the Championship and know how to get out of it. Like I said, there's a lot of talented players abroad, but if you don't know the Championship, it's difficult. I remember the first season we came down, we started the first game away at Ipswich. I think only one player had Championship experience. I think that was Scotty Parker was playing at the time. So if we do buy players, we need to buy players that know the league, know what it takes to get out of it, and characters as well. People, a bit more leadership. I feel that characters and leadership is a quality that we've lacked a little bit, but I think obviously the one positive from getting relegated is that the players will, hopefully learn from their mistakes, and they will be hurting, and they will be wanting to be proving people wrong, and there's that's a quality that you want in a player. He always wants to prove people wrong, and getting relegated is probably the worst feeling as a player, so they want to resurrect that straight away.
What did you make of What did you make of Ryan Sessegnon's debut season in the Premier League?
I thought he'd done okay. He's still a young player, He's a hard-working, humble lad from a good background, good family, and you can't expect someone so young to, set the light up every game. I think when he's had games where he's done really well. He's had games where he's not really been involved. But, he's a young, fantastic talent, a great example of Fulham's academy. He's been at the club for a young age. And, Fulham fans won't want to see him go. Hopefully, he'll have another season with us because he's still young. He still needs games. He still needs experience. He's still growing as a young man. So, but let's not be confused. A lot of the big guns will be looking at him. A lot of them maybe want to sign him. But for me, if I could give him any advice, is if you are going to go somewhere, make sure you're playing. Make sure you've got a chance to play, because he's been playing regularly now for the last 2-3 years. So you don't want to go to a big club now and maybe not play or not get in the team and waste the season. So if he is going to go anywhere, just make sure he plays. But I feel that he'll play week in, week out at Fulham next season, and he's still young, he's still learning. So I think it'd still be good for his development.
Rather than, as you say, see Sessegnon join a bigger team and sit on the bench, do you think his development would be better suited to having that season in the Championship, playing against them physical sort of teams?
I think he can cope in the Premier League. He's shown he can. He's got a few assists. He's got a couple of goals. His performances were good. Obviously, it's tough when you're playing in a team that are right down at the bottom. It's not that easy. I feel that he could go and play at the very top level, but I just feel if he does make the move, he needs to be in a situation where he's going to be contending on playing week in, week out for his development, regardless whether it be in the Premier League or the Championship. But he's got a lot of good people around him. He's got a good family, like I said before. So I think they'll make that decision if it comes to making that decision.
How would you summarise Mitrovic's season from a Fulham fan's point of view?
I like Mitrovic. Every time I watch him play, I see his passion, I see his determination. He's got heart. He can score a goal. He probably didn't have as many chances as he would have liked. But for me, you keep players like that. When you see him play, he gives everything. The fans love him. Whether he'll be thinking he wants another crack at the Premier League now, or whether he thinks, I owe Fulham some sort of debt because they got relegated. Obviously, it wasn't one person's fault, but as a collective, you kind of think, we owe the club, to try and get him back out first time. So I believe he's a massive part of Fulham, and if we can keep hold of him, it would be like a great signing.